Oh.
And I'm like, if Essence could pull that off,
they could have put that Oprah or something. They could have did something. Tyler Perry, somebody.
Because what's the name was being honored? Nia Long and Lorenz Tate did the little skit, the poetry skit from Love Jones. It was so cute. Everybody looked gorgeous.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
A-list.
Never heard of it. I gotta Google it.
Thank you. Black women in Hollywood.
Probably ain't even Googleable.
And if they did something like that, that's basically the Black Oscars.
I just feel like every year we do this. Every year we always say,
"Yo,
let's make what you call it," and then once it's over, we ain't talking about that no more.
Yeah,
award show. Who cares about an award show? Once the Oscars come around, we should make our own.
Right, but no, this year we actually won a lot. The difference with this year, it wasn't that so hashtag Oscar so white. We won a lot. Like Will Packer won, Questlove won. We really did win this year. The problem is nobody's talking about the wins.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Will he did too much. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he was wrong. I wasn't saying he was wrong on his feelings because he didn't have to like Chris too. I get it. He felt like Chris disrespected his wife, and he's entitled to that. But it's the way he handles it. He could have checked Chris backstage. Simple as that. That's it. Everybody's like, oh yeah, this and that. Like, yeah, but you not. Remember, he's worth millions. He could do that, and they still gave him an award. If that was a regular person, what would happen? He would have been prosecuted, got arrested.
I understand your brain.
So it's like
he would have got locked up.
He got locked up, hands down. They would have kicked him out. Him and his wife would have got kicked out. That was anybody else. So they like, we win. They all applauded him. Like we okay with that. Everybody's okay with that.
No, actually, cool. I've been seeing more people that haven't been okay with it. I see more people that's been like, oh my God. I'm sitting there like, you got slapped out last night. Shut up.
And everybody's sitting there saying, oh yeah, Chris had it coming. He did the right thing. But it's like, so you basically telling me that he's gonna do that, and what if that jeopardizes his career? Then what they're gonna be saying? Oh, Will fell off. He ain't been the same since he smacked Chris Rock on stage. He ain't getting another Oscar. His last 5 movies bombed.
Well, they're talking about the repercussions now, so we just have to wait and see what happens. But I want to get into the interview, the actual interview. I want to find out what's going on with Cleph.
Good and fruitful. This is a great interview, okay? Because I love the dialogue. I like to go on back and forth. I love it. But again, Will got this one. I don't think he did good in them other movies, but we can keep on.
He's not getting another one. I hope he enjoys that. Right, it's not happening again.
But them other ones, he is.
But that's what I'm saying. But here's the thing, but him doing that though, it kind of stained it because now it's like they're gonna look at him funny. Like, do we really want to give him? Look how long it took him to get one.
He's a loose cannon.
To get one. Now they're gonna be like, do they even want to be bothered with him or his wife?
They put him on.
I think they said they're not inviting them back next year. I think that's where they're going with it because Whoopi Goldberg governs the Academy. And she said they're not going to revoke the award, but they may not invite him back next year.
Yeah, he ain't coming back next year.
I just feel like I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it to get one award. To get one. He got one.
Maybe it is.
That was what it was about, just to get one. He did all that just to get one.
That's the problem right there. That's the problem. They get validation in that award. Like, stop. But anyway.
He chose the wrong time to do
that. let's get into the interview part.
Yay!
Hey!
Enough about Will. The man of the hour is Cleph.
Thank you.
Period. Period.
So now, Cleph, the reason why you're on here today is because you won the top 10.
Yes, I did.
Which was, of course, very deserving.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's get into it. When did you know you had a gift or a talent for music?
Had to be when I was real young. I was like in elementary school. I started writing short stories. That's how it started in elementary school. I was like I was a class writer. Because at the time, and this, I'm putting my age out there, back in the 90s, you in class and you write 2 pages, front to back, like all the way down, second page from first, you was like the man. And then I went to the sixth, and then I went to the 6th grade, and I found out this other kid in the next class, he was writing 3 pages. So he had me beat. So, but I was always writing stories, but I always would put the stories as if it was like a TV show or movies, because I always into movies. So I would write them and then have like some people that I know in the class, okay, this person is playing such and such character. Like it was a real like TV show. And when it came to music, I didn't know how to write I didn't know how to write songs. So I used to sing, but I would sing from hearing stuff on the radio at the time. And I would try to mimic what I heard. Like, so if say, like I said, I'm putting my age out there. So if Brian McKnight's song was on the radio, I would try to sound like Brian McKnight when I sing his songs. Half the time, I was just falling in love with the melody and the harmonies of the song. I wouldn't even know what artist it was. I didn't have a face. I just remember the song. I was like, oh, I like this song. And then I would be shocked when I see the video. I was like, oh, they do that song? That's how I was.
Yeah. So now professionally, when did you start putting yourself out there to show the world that you can actually sing?
It had to be when I was in high school. My friend at the time, he was a rapper. And at this time I was into playing the alto sax. That was my instrument in junior high school. I was in the jazz band. Loved the alto sax. I wanted to have my own jazz band. I even came up with a name. It was called the B Flats, but I was young, don't play it. So I wanted to play. So when I got to high school, they didn't give me the music class that I want. So then, me playing the saxophone for nearly 2 years, my skills kind of dwindled away. Not knowing that I was singing, but I would never tell nobody I knew how to sing. I never told nobody I could sing. I used to be like, oh, I just play the saxophone. I mean, that was cool too. But then basically my friend at the time, who was a rapper, we was in the studio. I was in the studio with him, and I sung something. I kind of freestyled off the top of my head. He was like, oh, that sounds dope. So he had me go in a booth and record it. I was scared out my mind. So then after a few takes, I finally got it. And then he's playing it and he's giving it to other people. And it was like, oh, who's the person singing this and that? So then he would come back and say, yo, I want you to sing this song for me. So he would write a hook for me. Mind you, at this time, I didn't know I knew how to write songs, but I could write like a good short story. I didn't know how to put the two together. Like me singing, playing the alto sax, and knowing how to write stories, I didn't know how to put it together. It was always broken up. Like, okay, I ain't got the saxophone no more. I don't know how to do that. Oh, I don't have to tell nobody I know how to sing. I couldn't write a song, but I knew how to write a short story. It was like, I didn't know how to gel it together, because I would have been like a triple threat, to be honest with you. Well, I'm still am, but so it's kind of like I finally wrote my first song when I was in high school. When I was in high school, it took me like 3 class periods. I wrote my first song. It was called Take It Slow. Don't ask me how it goes. I don't remember that. Yeah. I was kind of hype about it because I had formed a group at the time that I was in. So I wrote the song and they was singing, the song that I wrote, not knowing that, you just became like a real songwriter. I was kind of hyped. I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of hyped, but I didn't know it at the time. I didn't, I was kind of oblivious when it came to stuff like that until years later. And I was like, why nobody sings my songs? Not knowing I did have people sing my songs. So that's basically about it.
Okay. So with that being said, and I know you mentioned Brian McKnight, who are some of your influences?
Drew Hill, 112, of course, Brian McKnight, Darnell Jones.
You're a real 90s baby.
I'm about to say he not.
Yeah, the 90s was like when it was nothing but the radio. Like you had to actually be nice in order to actually be on the radio. There was no such thing as getting by or, clout. you had to actually be nice. You had to actually know how to sing or carry a note, something. You had to do something nice in music back then. Whether you was a songwriter or you was a producer, you had to really have skills compared to nowadays where it's kind of like watered down, where everybody think they could do music, and it's kind of like, I guess, you know, it's kind of hard to really weed out the real musicians and the one that's just doing it, you know, for their own selfish gain. But whatever, I digress.
And
so now, go ahead.
Same thing. I don't. The stuff they have now, I'm like, well, why you keep telling me they could sing? Because I be waiting for because back in the day we had production, we had lyrics, and you could sing. Now it's production and then it's watery, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Remember before, even before my time, it was even more worse, where you had to be singing in front of a live studio audience.
Live,
no lip syncing.
There was no such thing as doing a music video. No, you large studio audience. Here's the band in the background. You know your song. Go out there and sing in front of everybody live on TV.
Yeah, it's just weird.
They don't do that. They don't do that. No edit. It was just straight, just raw right there. You'd be like, oh yeah, he's nice. Billy Ocean's nice.
Him, no, I
yeah. Yeah,
she got a crush on him.
Suddenly, that's it. Suddenly
Billy
is
Ocean.
one. But anyway, that word always. And then why said I
out of control.
So you got a crush on Billy Ocean?
Out of control.
She made that book. Do not listen to her. She lied. I hate you.
Wow.
I love that.
Unreal.
I'm big on songwriting. I love lyrics. Like, I like to post a song and I'm like, just get into these lyrics. Because now it's like cat in the hat type shit going on now. But anyway, the lyrics is so important to me. But anyway.
You know what I discovered, which is funny? Y'all know that song, what's that? What's by Shanice? What's that song? Your Smile or something?
I love your smile.
Have you ever listened to the lyrics to that song? Like, have you really listened to what she's saying?
Chemistry loves that song. My son loves that song.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When you listen to that song, you know it doesn't make any sense. And the lyrics that she's singing, it makes no sense. Like, it doesn't go with the hook at all. I listened to it and I'm like, wait a second. I listened to it twice. I was like, hold on. For years, I love this song, but you really like the song because of the hook. The hook was catchy. But when you listen to what she's singing about, the verse doesn't go with what the hook is about at all.
Especially the rapping part. I'm just playing the rapping part in my head while you're saying that.
That part.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
I wasn't a fan of that. You could tell they was experimenting back in the days because rap was still new. It was just, nah. They could have did that. They could have did without that.
So now, who would you collaborate with, dead or alive?
Well, I actually always wanted to do a song with Carlos Santana.
Oh, let me find out.
Wasn't expecting that one, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like when people are diverse in who they are willing to collaborate with. Because if you would have told me Joe Schmo that's already on the radio getting 100 plays and we tied already.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, okay.
We could do something like a modern day, like a Maria or something like that, something in that lane, because that's a good lane right there. And I know I could create something with him that would be like fire. Yeah. I would love to try to get in contact with him or try to work with him somehow before he retires,
Right. He's like, I haven't seen, anyway, he is the man. But anyway,
yeah.
I love that. I love that choice.